How do you secure your category leadership? Storytelling for business is different from storytelling you tell maybe in the evening, or maybe you went to work, you return to your family, you tell them story. Those are fine stories, they are important stories. There is nobody that don't listen to story that don't tell story. But there is a difference between those type of story and business story. In business story, you must have a clear objective. Why are you telling this story?
The storytelling that you use is more or less where you need to be able to demonstrate the point of crisis, the costs analysis, and bring the emotions into it.
It doesn't land in the ear, it lands in the heart. Business storytelling, it is not enough to just talk. You are trying to create a reaction in the mind of the people.
Your strategic objective is the reason you exist. Like, it's your goal, your ultimate goal in business.
This can never be underestimated under any yardstick.
As humans, we are pattern seekers. We recognize patterns.
If you are looking for success in using storytelling for business, the first and most important thing is you are going to know who you are talking to. If you don't know who you are talking to, your story will never land. Your story will be in the air because you are not targeting a specific audience. Abu Shad, thank you for being here. Please share with us. The conversation is strategic storytelling for B2B and tech. How do you secure your category leadership? Please share with us.
Hello, Obehi. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is fine. So, Obehi, my question to you, I'm working as a senior business development in the last 5 years, and my question to you is that how do we use stories to connect with our customers and stakeholders? And can you share me some example of successful storytelling campaign? Actually, that is my question to you, Obehi.
All right, thank you so much, Abu Shad. I appreciate your question. Of course, I'm going to send you information at the end of the room. We're going to do our DM, but this is something that I really want to share with you. And of course, all the people in the room, if you have to add something to it, you are free to, because it's an open conversation. I think if you are looking for success in using storytelling for business, the first and most important thing is you are going to know who you are talking to. This can never be underestimated under any yardstick. And this is why. If you don't know who you are talking to, your story will never land. Your story will be in the air because you are not targeting a specific audience. So for you to have success in using storytelling as a strategy for your business, all right, let me back up a little bit. Storytelling for business is different from storytelling you tell maybe in the evening, or maybe you went to work, you return to your family, you tell them story, or maybe in the evening you don't have anything to do. Like little kid, we did it a lot in Africa. I grew up in Africa, in Nigeria. So every evening we listen to story. Those are fine stories, they are important stories. There is nobody that don't listen to story that don't tell story. But there is a difference between those type of story and business story. In business story, you must have a clear objective. Why are you telling this story? Not only that, you must also know who are you telling the story to. You must know the person, because if you don't know the person, you don't know how you are going to frame your story. If you frame your story correctly, then it's going to land. Now, this is where the story usually lands. It doesn't land in the ear, it lands in the heart. Because if it doesn't land in the heart, I'm talking of the emotion, then you're not going to get a response. Because if it lands in the ear, it looks like an entertainment. No, you just want to talk. Yeah, that is good if you just want to talk. But in business storytelling, it is not enough to just talk. You are trying to create a reaction in the mind of the people, not for the purpose of entertainment. So that is fundamentally important, that you know who exactly you are talking to. If you know that, then you know how to layer your story to meet their need, which is their interest. What do they need from you? If you do this well, then they will respond to you. Because how we respond to storytelling is beyond just the storytelling. We have to do with the psychology of how we behave as human beings. You know, when you say certain things to certain people, they must react. There is no way they cannot react because they are human beings. Our communication is very deep as human beings. So that is very important, that you know who you are talking to and you know also how to talk to them. I will leave it there. Of course, we take the conversation up after this section. Okay. I don't know if anybody wanted to add something to that, because I have a question I wanted to ask Annie. And the question goes like this, which is, we are saying strategic storytelling, but what does that even mean? What does it mean, be strategic in storytelling? Eddie, what do you have to say about that?
But just before that, I just want to add to the question from Obehi. So, because he mentioned something about data, so you need to understand something, that as humans, we are pattern seekers. We recognize patterns. So that's how our brain learns. So when you're using storytelling, especially when you're trying to demonstrate, I think I have an article on this in my newsletter. I'll be happy to send it to you. But you need to understand that you are trying to simplify. It's the same thing as creating a data model when you're trying to create patterns to help people identify patterns. So the storytelling that you use is more or less where you need to be able to demonstrate the points of crisis where you currently are, the costs analysis, and bring the emotions into it. So you identify, here's where we are, these are the points of crisis. You tell the story of the cost of not making the changes, and then you demonstrate through still storytelling how that changes when maybe the data that you are trying to demonstrate, or you're trying to demonstrate a solution with your data, how that changes. So that's usually that. So identify the point of crisis, show them, don't show them as, let's say for example, you're analyzing data on sales, on how housing is. There's a problem in housing. You're saying that 2 in 3 houses just don't sell and stuff. You want that, just saying data. So what is the cost of that? So that means that there are 2 families with kids that do not have access to housing. What their life looks like because they do not have access to housing. So that's how you demonstrate storytelling with data. I hope that helps.
I think it does. Thank you so much for that. Anyway, Abushad, you can respond to that. I believe it have gotten home the response. All right, so we pass to Annie. The question was that.
Right, now Obehi, so you're asking, what does strategic storytelling mean?
Absolutely.
On a simple level, it's a case of just making sure that your storytelling is focused on generating emotions, as Tanya said, as Hannah said, as you said, Obehi, based on helping companies achieve the strategic objectives. Let's be sure, what's a strategic objective? Now, getting customers is not a strategic objective. That's why I said earlier, the B2B companies don't pay you for that. Really, the big ones don't pay you for that. The small ones do. The big ones don't. Your strategic objective is the reason you exist. It's your goal, your ultimate goal in business. So my objective is to be one of the top 5 marketing agencies in the world. To companies exist for. Companies exist to have the biggest brand engagement with their customers, to be number 1, number 2, and number 3, as Tanya said earlier. They want to be the biggest. They want to be known for something. They want to have a place in the world that cements them as world leaders. That's strategic objectives that companies have. So these days, many lean towards environmental, goals. So they want to be known for, being environmentally friendly. Not just being known for, but being global leaders. In protecting the environment. Someone who known for how they engage their staff. They want to be the best company to work for in the world. These are strategies, my friend. These are what companies aim for. When our stories can help them to achieve their strategic goals, like I say, as we've said, if you can appeal to them that your solution will help them to achieve these big goals and get someone to truly buy into how you can help them to achieve that, the important people, then they will look at your solution as an option. If you're coming to help them and save money on kitchen rolls, for example, that's not going to happen. That's not going to make it bigger companies, is it? We have to make sure that our services and our stories that we're telling, shows them how you're going to help them to get to next level. And again, it's not rocket science how we do this over here. I think literally many companies, many people are convinced in what Tanya calls them the multi-layered marketing stories. I want to know, how have you helped a company like mine achieve my goals? That's what they really want. That's what your stories really should be based on, right? So that's what you should be talking about. And how have you helped me? And there's many different ways. Hannah mentioned a few. Testimonials is one way to do it. Showcasing your clients is another way to do it. And there's many different ways that you can literally tell me that you can help me achieve my big goals. Normally based on what you've done already. That's strategic storytelling for businesses. So I will leave on the points that Tanya made earlier, which I think is very easy to miss. Look, in big business, people only care about a few things. The biggest thing they care about is not losing money. Maybe it's not as important in the UK, but it's important to every company not to waste money, right? Not because the money is so important to them. It's more because, when they make the wrong decision by choosing you as a supplier, someone's going to get fired. Because they look, and also they look stupid. There's nothing worse than a big company than people who are told, "Oh, you chose that company, didn't you? You chose any as your marketer. Oh, that was dumb, wasn't it? What were you thinking? Did you do any homework?" It was obvious to the rest of us that this person feels stupid, their reputation's tarnished, and they're fired. That's why B2B companies don't take the risks that individuals will take by going with what I call randoms. You must have to accept that we have to be at that level to get that level of work over here. Big companies buy from big companies for a reason. Companies with track records, with proof, with evidence, with a history of delivery. It's always strange to me that small startups want to go and work with big companies. It doesn't work. It never works. Because you can't do what they want, and you can't do what they want, number one, and also you can't convince them that you can, because they have a choice between you and the market leader. They'd rather pay 100 times more for the market leader in your sector than to pay you. Mr. I don't know who you are, Mrs. I don't know who you are, how you really help. I'll keep quiet now, Obehi. I'll give the mic back to you, my friend.
That is very interesting. I wish this were a regular podcast interview. We could really drag this on for some time, because I had a question I wanted to ask you there, but of course I cannot do that here because I'm going to pass the mic to another person.